Okay, welcome back to another video. First of all, if you're watching this and you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I have 95% of the people that watch these videos do not subscribe, and it would help me massively. So today's video, the biggest training mistakes I made in my 20s. I'm telling you this so you do not make them. Unfortunately, I made a few. So why should you listen to me? So I started training at about 16 years old. I was about 60 kilos. I'm now 30. I weigh about 98 to 100 kilos. So I put on a lot of muscle over the years. I've made some terrible mistakes. I literally spent the first 5 years of training going backwards. And let me explain. First things first, I'm going to go over what I did wrong and what you should be doing. Okay, so the first thing I did wrong was I didn't have a plan. I never had a plan. For about 5 years, I used to go in, bench press with my friends, bicep curl with my friends, and all I cared about was benching one plate on the bench, which was 60 kilos. And I still remember, to this day, you probably can't hear that, but I can click my chest still, my sternum, from when I dropped the bar on me trying to bench 60 kilos when I had no right, just trying to go in and do a run with max. And unfortunately, I didn't really make a plan until about 5 years ago. I literally had no idea what I was doing. I was just reading, learning, didn't know about splits, didn't know about food. I just went in there, bench press, curls, shoulder press, left. And I had this obsession with being lean, which is another mistake which I'm going to get into. So that's the first thing. Had no training plan, just went in there and did whatever I wanted to do. Second thing as well is I thought the holy grail of building muscle was a post-workout protein shake. I used to not eat anything, right? I used to literally eat nothing. I used to have like KFC and sandwiches, but I would always make sure I had one scoop of a post-workout shake. It was a My Protein chocolate mint. One scoop was about 18 grams of protein with some water. I drink that and I thought, right, post-workout shake, protein, drip feeding into the muscles. I am going to grow a huge chest because I did some bench press. And unfortunately, this didn't work. And we now know that protein post-workout is a bit of a myth. The overall amount of protein you have throughout the day is way more important, spaced into 3, 4, 5 meals, whatever. Again, that doesn't really matter either, but it's about the overall amount of protein you're having. I was having probably 50 odd grams throughout the day for whatever I was cooked at home, plus my shake at 20 grams, about 70 grams of protein. No, not the answer. Okay, the third thing that I did that I really screwed up in is I was obsessed with being lean, and I was already very, very skinny. I think I probably had body dysmorphia, still probably have it now. 60 kilos, no muscle, no fat on me, right? I was a very skinny ectomorphic kid, and I was carb cycling because I read that carb cycling is the answer. Build muscle and lose fat at carb cycling, and I thought, well, this is the way. So I was going low protein, about 70 grams a day, some days no carbs, and some days high carbs, which for me at the time probably wasn't even high carbs. So I was pretty much low carb, low protein, or low protein, moderate carb, just no calories. Okay, if you want to build muscle as a skinny person with no fat, no muscle, you need to be in a surplus of calories. I wasted years and years and years. I remember when I was about 20, people were laughing at me because I still hadn't built any muscle, and I had people that would train, once or twice every couple of weeks that were going way past me, that were lifting way more than me, and I was like, I'm so consistent compared to these guys. How is this possible? No food, no calories, no protein, and no plan. Disaster. It took me years and years and years to bench press 60 kilos. And once I got there, it probably took me 5 years after that to bench 100 kilos, which is crazy to think. My progress was so slow because I was under eating. And that leads me on to my next mistake I made, which was I didn't train for strength. I now know that the stronger you get, the bigger you're probably going to be. And before people try and come for me, if you are a skinny male like I was, 60 kilos, and let's say I could bench 60 kilos or 135 pounds, squat 60 kilos or 135 pounds, which I didn't do, by the way, didn't train my legs, and a deadlift 60 kilos, 135 pounds. If over 3 or 4 years, you've increased your calories over time and added 50 kilos, 100 pounds to these lifts, you'll be considerably stronger across the board. Did not strength train. I only started to see progress when I switched over to a program called Strong Lifts. Any OGs will know the old Strong Lifts. 3 training sessions a week, 5x5, squats, deads, bench, chin-ups, dips. And it's all about progressing these lifts over time. Only when I started doing that did I start to see strength progress, but only because I started to eat as well. Okay, and that leads me into my next issue I did was I followed a bro split for years and years and years with way too much training volume. I was a big fan of Greg Plitt, Jay Cutler, and I remember I used to do Greg Plitt's chest workout, which was like a 90-minute, 55-set chest workout, where I would, put the bench to an incline, do 8 reps, drop it one click, 8 reps, boom, 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 and I drop it down to a decline, do 64 reps with like 10 kilo dumbbells because I was smoked and I was only feeling it in my shoulders. Stupid stuff like that. Don't follow these guys. When I moved over to a full body approach, trying to progress my lifts and actually taking days off and eating more food, I made more progress in a year than I made in 5 years before that. And I'll get into this shortly. So it was just poor for me. Now, these are the things that I've learned, okay? If you want to build muscle as a beginner, you have to have a training plan. I recommend 3 to 4 sessions a week max. You do not grow in a gym. You grow when you sleep and rest with food. Carb cycling and all this nonsense doesn't matter. Good amount of carbohydrates, good amount of fats, good amount of protein throughout the day, 3, 4, 5 times a day is the way forward. Strength train. You have to strength train as a beginner. You will not build muscle. Find me somebody that can only bench 60 kilos or 20 kilo dumbbells that has a lot of muscle. You won't find them. But then find me someone that can bench 3 plates with no chest. Once you can bench 3 plates on a bench, squat 3 plates, deadlift 3 plates, do weighted chin-ups of 20 kilos, weighted dips of 20 kilos, you will be well muscled everywhere. That is the way. If you're somebody that's watching this, think now, over the last 3 months, have you progressed your lifts? If you haven't added at least 5 to 10 kilos across all your lifts, change your training plan. Very important. We don't want too much volume. We don't want to be doing 50 sets on chest. Do a push, pull, legs off, repeat. Do upper, lower, repeat. Do full body 1, 2, and 3. Do not just train arms on a day. If you're a beginner, you have small everything. Don't say you have lagging arms, you have lagging everything. Build everything together. Focus on increasing your compound lifts over time and increasing your calories along with that if you're skinny, or slightly decreasing along that if you're overweight. These are the mistakes I made in my 20s. I made more progress from 25 to 30 than I made from 16 to 25 because I just pissed around and didn't listen to the right people. And hopefully watching this video, you will not do the same. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and I'll keep posting 3 of these a week.